An icy wind through the DCU did not blow while Zack Snyder had control over the Man of Steel. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. As evidenced by an international trailer for the latest Superman film, James Gunn ensured that the title character's freeze breath was used. This power was not utilized in Snyder's version of the character, which may have contributed to his time in the DCU not being unilaterally supported. As a director, Zack Snyder imposed many changes on some of DC's biggest superheroes. Some are neutral, while others are extremely controversial. Lovers of the blue brand bridled when Snyder had Batman kill his enemies, with guns, no less, and recoiled when he essentially portrayed the Flash as Wally West with Barry Allen's name slapped on him. However, no other icon from the limited sampling of the DC pantheon that Snyder could access was affected more than Superman. Snyder's take on Superman was performed by Henry Cavill. To Cavill's credit, he did his best with the lines from his script. The issue is that Zack Snyder clearly wasn't interested in making a Superman movie. He was interested in creating a Zack Snyder movie with Superman in it. The lead star was presented as a dour, short-tempered, flying freight train, per the director's vision. A recent promo for the new Superman film from James Gunn focused on one of Kal-El's secondary, but no less valuable powers. This same superskill was steered away from by the last director who held Superman's reins, Zack Snyder, and the upcoming film. Clark has a sense of humor, an unstoppable drive to do good, and an emotional vulnerability that isn't presented as weakness. He smiles, he cracks jokes, he playfully taunts a kaiju rampaging through Metropolis to draw the beast away from innocent people. In Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, directed by Zack Snyder, Superman stood among debris and despair after Lex Luthor bombed the Capitol building. Clark knew it was Lex's way of getting under his skin, but he flew at least one survivor out of the blast zone and then selfishly shot into the sky. Now, thanks to another fresh look at Superman, fans are aware of another leg up that Gunn and actor David Corenswet's Clark have on Snyder's version, freeze breath. This is why die-hard Superman aficionados are excited for the last son of Krypton's brand new movie. Superman, helmed by acclaimed filmmaker James Gunn, the mastermind of the MCU's Guardians of the Galaxy, will take audiences along for a big-screen adventure that they've never been on before. This film is a reboot in its most impactful definition. Gunn intended to take Clark back to his roots. Superman will be a return to form for the legendary Metropolis Marvel and will hopefully begin to wipe away the harm Snyder inflicted on the character and his perception by the general audience. Even though Superman doesn't soar into theaters until July 11, 2025, the differences between Snyder's Clark and Gunn's are as clear and bright as Earth's yellow sun. Supes did eventually unleash his mighty wind in the fight with Steppenwolf toward the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League to shatter the Apocalyptian's battle axe. But that was the singular time that Clark's freeze breath blew. Canonically known as super breath, it's the ability to exhale with such gusto that the air's target drops to its freezing point. Traditionally, Kal-El has often used it to ice over non-powered mooks to halt their getaway, lock up the wheels of speeding vehicles, and generate mini-glacial masses to cool down overheating nuclear reactors or hurl at Brainiac. Super breath is one of Clark's most versatile abilities in his repertoire. So, why was it almost nowhere to be found in any of the Zack Snyder movies with Superman? Snyder claimed no situation arose in his films that called for super breath via Screen Rant. It stands to reason that because of James Gunn's demonstrable respect for DC's characters and his drive to honor the essence of the world's first superhero, this instance of freeze breath will not be the only one in Superman. Moviegoers only have a short wait to find out. Contrast that with Clark in Superman sliding away a friendly dog on an ice slick to prevent the pup from getting squashed by an enormous kaiju foot. Saving someone's beloved pet? Check. Using his Kryptonian gifts defensively instead of for attack? Check. Now that's Superman. Superman will definitely cover Clark's super breath, and the movie will also showcase the full range of his powers. In addition to freeze breath, Superman can fly at extreme speeds, fire laser-like heat vision from his eyes, and slew off any man-made attacks and gunfire as though they were a light breeze. He also has the combined strength of over 100 human beings. Written and directed by James Gunn, DC Studios' Superman opens on Friday, July 11, 2025. With a cast led by David Corenswet as Big Blue himself, the movie also stars the marvelous Mrs. Maisel's Rachel Brosnahan as intrepid Daily Planet Repo Root. The Prince of Wales has severed ties with a donor who appeared to attempt to sell royal access for £20,000, without his knowledge. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Minerva Mondejar-Steiner, a Filipino-Swiss millionaire art gallery curator, reportedly offered private meetings with William and Princess Kate at the upcoming Royal Charity Polo Cup match in exchange for payment. James Gunn's heavy ties to the MCU add another layer of difficulty to his work in the new DC universe. DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn shared new information on the timeline for Peacemaker Season 2, saying it takes place a couple years after the Season 1 finale. While shedding new light on the DCU timeline as the franchise continues to expand later this year, DC Studios' top creative gave viewers insight into the challenges of navigating a new saga. Speaking with Entertainment Weekly, Gunn admitted that he is intentionally keeping the timeline vague for where Peacemaker fits into the grand DC scheme. He realized the difficulty in keeping track of that timeline after all his time at Marvel, seeing the challenges in fitting an entire universe together. In developing his new DC universe, DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn is already encountering an issue he saw while working with the MCU. Having directed the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise for Marvel Studios before and during his work on new DC projects, Gunn has a unique perspective on navigating an expansive cinematic universe. Meanwhile, Gunn is hard at work putting the finishing touches on Season 2 of Peacemaker, centering on John Cena's antihero first established in 2021's The Suicide Squad. Picking up right where Season 1 left off, the story will include some wild twists and turns, including a double dose of John Cena's Peacemaker, while featuring Jennifer Holland, Danielle Brooks, Steve Agee, Freddie Stroma, and Frank Grillo. Peacemaker Season 2 will debut on HBO Max on August 21, 2025. DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn shared new information on the timeline for Peacemaker Season 2, saying it takes place a couple years after the Season 1 finale. While shedding new light on the DCU timeline as the franchise continues to expand later this year, DC Studios' top creative gave viewers insight into the challenges of navigating a new saga. Speaking with Entertainment Weekly, Gunn admitted that he is intentionally keeping the timeline vague for where Peacemaker fits into the grand DC scheme. He realized the difficulty in keeping track of that timeline after all his time at Marvel, seeing the challenges in fitting an entire universe together. Gunn is also waiting to unveil even more confirmed projects for the DCU, as only about half of his Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters slate has been revealed publicly. While future projects may not be released in the same order as they come in the timeline itself, Gunn and company will be sure to update fans on what they need to know over the coming years. Thankfully, due to his extensive experience with the red and blue brands, Gunn seems to already have a grip on the DCU's long-term future in terms of how he will tie his numerous franchises together. Now that Gunn is in charge of an entirely new cinematic universe, where he has to organize every new movie and TV show's place in the timeline, he already seems to be on top of fitting everything into place. This was particularly challenging because only most of Peacemaker Season 1 is canon with his franchise, but now he has a fresh slate moving forward. In mid-May 2025, Gunn confirmed that the first 5 projects planned for